And so I want to just introduce our next speaker by also referring to Bill. He referred quickly to the Sunrise Movement. And we are very, very grateful to have as our third panelist tonight, Rose Strauss. If you have not seen the video that went viral of the candidate for governor of Pennsylvania who did not win after that viral video, don't know if it's a cause and effect, but probably helped. In this viral video, she asked a very prescient set of questions about climate change and about what it meant to people, particularly of her generation, because guess where she's going to be in 35 years? So she asked this question, and he put her down as young and naive. And in the process, he launched her visibility, because what Rose represents tonight is the Sunrise Movement. Now, the Sunrise Movement took the work of Mark Klein Solomon. Because of the involvement with people like Bernie Sanders 2 years ago and AOC, she got involved because of the Bernie Sanders thing. She was part of them in Queens. All of a sudden now we have the Green New Deal. And for anybody who says that the Green New Deal is not practical, they don't understand what it is. It is not a series of proposed pieces of legislation. It is a series of outcomes that we have subscribed to, that we insist are the minimum outcome to the world that's going to be livable again for us. It's time to restore Mother Earth. It's time to respect, as Emilio reported from the Chumash people, the way we treat Gaia, and we have to stop puncturing her. We have to start treating her as the mother she is. The Sunrise Movement is the proponent that's trying to get us there, and Rose Strauss is our extremely articulate spokesperson from UCSB. Rose, please take it from here.
Awesome. All right. Well, thank you guys all so much for being here tonight and listening to this presentation. I didn't know anyone else was not going to be using one, but yes, I love presentations. So I'm Rose. I'm 19, and I am here as a representative of Sunrise Movement. We're a movement of young people working really hard to stop climate change and create millions of good jobs in the process. I'm just going to go through kind of a brief history of Sunrise, why we're doing what we're doing, how we got here, and what we're thinking about moving forward. Okay, so first thing that we talk about in Sunrise, climate change is happening and it's hurting people right now. So right off the bat, we are completely done with the narrative of talking about if climate change is real, what it's doing possibly in the future. We go straight to the fact that it's happening right now and hurting people right now. And in Santa Barbara, we know very well the impacts of climate change as a community who's been really hit hard by natural disasters. Second thing is that we have the solutions and that they're ready when we are. We know that the solar energy industry employs way more people than the entire fossil fuel industry combined. And if you see those little blue squares up there, that's the amount of solar energy it would take to power the entire United States, which is pretty crazy. So what gives? Why have we not made this transition yet? Why are we still stuck in this place? Well, Sunrise is of the belief fossil fuel CEOs and corrupt politicians are blocking action, and nobody is holding them accountable. So we think that they're doing this in a super deliberate way. They have like a three-pronged strategy of doing this. The first thing is deceiving the people. The second thing is buying up politicians. And the third thing is consolidating power within the government. So the first one, deceiving the people. So this is kind of showing a progression of the fossil fuel industries and the way that they've changed their narrative on climate change. In 1978, ExxonMobil acknowledged the fact that climate change is happening and said that we have 5 to 10 years to stop this crisis. And then they denied it. They said, I don't really know what's happening with climate change. We could have to solve it pretty soon, maybe a while in the future. We don't really know, kind of spreading misinformation. And then they deflected responsibility. They said, sorry, we can know that climate change is happening, but the demand for fossil fuels is endless and we're not going to do anything to stop it. Second thing is buying out politicians. So you guys probably know Charles and David Koch, but we learned about the Koch brothers in Sunrise and that they have $86 billion and put all of that money towards trying to stop any action on climate change. That means that they have 86 billion reasons to block action on climate change. And this is a really terrifying graph of spending in the 2016 elections. You can see the Democratic Party in red, the Republican Party in green, and the Koch network in yellow. So we have discovered that we actually have a third party in the United States that we have been blissfully unaware of. That last thing is consolidating power within the government. So we know that Mike Pompeo, he's actually been called the congressman from Koch because he's received the most donations from the Koch brothers, and now he's representing us to the entire world. So we're basically saying, hi, the United States is a country that is run by fossil fuel corporations. So what Sunrise has said, in light of all these facts, is that we have to take over. So, Sunrise is a movement of young people who are trying to stop climate change and create millions of good jobs in the process. So we're done with the narrative that we have to choose between jobs and stopping climate change. We can do both. And we're going to do this by making climate change an urgent priority in politics and the corrupting influence of fossil fuel corporations and executives, and electing politicians who are actually going to represent us. So this is kind of like a timeline of what Sunrise has been up to so far. Sunrise has been involved for like a little bit over a year and a half. It's been existing, which is a pretty short time. I got involved a year ago. I just graduated from high school, and I saw a Facebook ad, and it said, Sunrise, join a movement of young people trying to stop climate change. And I said, oh my God, of course. And then I clicked on the ad, and it said, move to somewhere in the United States and take 6 months off of school to stop climate change in the midterm elections. And I said, oh my God, of course. And I was like, parents, I'm moving to Pennsylvania to live with activists. And they were like, no, you're not, but I did. And yeah, that's kind of how I got to where I was in Sunrise semester, which is where we had that massive intervention in the midterm elections, which was really great. And then we were kind of building up all this momentum after we helped the Democrats win back the House. We were like, now it's time to hold these people accountable. Oops. Let's go to DC and ask Nancy Pelosi to have a resolution for a select committee on a Green New Deal. And Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez came to our training the night before. She stood in a folding table and she said, we're with you guys. We are with you on this fight. And now you have people who are in office who are going to stand with you guys, and you have activists who are in office. So that was amazing. And the next day she came to her action, and I was actually speaking at that action, and she walked in the door right as I was speaking and listened to me speak for a few, which was really cool. And she brought tons of media there, and then the Green New Deal exploded, and it was awesome, and it is still exploding to this day. So you guys all know the Green New Deal is amazing, and it's really the first time we've seen a solution to climate change that actually scales the issue, which is so important, and is actually like, we haven't really had anything to rally around before this as something that could actually fit the crisis, but now we do. So that's something that young people have really been really excited about, because it's something more concrete than we've ever seen. And you guys kind of know all this, but this isn't the presentation we give people. Lots of good stuff is going to come out of the Green New Deal. Decarbonize our economy within 10 years, basically doing everything in line with what the IPCC was talking about. And so that's really important. And doing it in a way that's really prioritizing frontline communities most impacted by climate change, justice, and the economy in this transition. So this is no longer an issue of like the environment or conservation. This is an issue of our lives, and it's become so pressing in my life and the lives of the hundreds and hundreds of other young people who are in Sunrise. So to recap, our reality now is that we have 12 years left to stop climate change, a little bit less now. Meanwhile, establishment Democrats and many other politicians have still not been taking the action that we need on this issue. They've still been making excuses to mandate a Green New Deal, and we're seeing that right now. So right now, what Sunrise is saying is no more excuses. This is not okay. So moving forward, what is our strategy? We're going to keep exposing the urgency of a crisis. Every time we have a natural disaster, we are going to relentlessly say, this is being made worse by climate change. And we're going to bring that into the media. The second thing is we're going to keep pushing the Green New Deal. We're putting everything we have into making this a reality. We're going to keep going to a representative's office, and we are not going to give up, because this is the crisis of our lifetimes. So leading into 2019, we're going February into March right now. Right now in California, we're mobilizing lots of activists, kind of bringing the movement to the West Coast because it's been really in the East Coast so far. We're having a huge training March 1st in LA, which we're planning right now. And we're going to build people power leading up to the first presidential debate. And in that presidential debate, we're going to bring 10,000 young people there and demand that they talk about climate change and demand that they talk about the Green New Deal. Because did you know that in 2016, they didn't even mention climate change once? So that's not going to happen this time around. Thank you guys so much for listening. I'm so excited to see what we're going to be doing. And yeah, if you guys want to get involved with Sunrise, let me know, and we can find a way to plug you in, because it's exciting stuff.
You're great, Russ. For those of you who remember, the World Business Academy about 4 or 5 years ago, I think now, produced a document called the California Moonshot, which eventually became a video. I urge you to look at it. It's 40 minutes long and it's really quite good, in which we laid out the case where you could take California to 100% green in 10 years or less at no additional cost to ratepayers. So if you didn't know that's possible, it is. So telling me you could do it on the national level is absolutely doable. It's doable. In fact, if we did mobilize, we would achieve it, and that's why we're here tonight, is to let people know that it's not only possible, it's the only rational choice.